Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create this hero section here with the image in the background. With the overlay here, you have the title here, a short description, a CTA, and also like a social proof, which is a simple one, but still it's like a good social proof and it looks good. Okay, so let's dive right into this, okay? Okay, so I'm going to assume you already have like a website built. You already have like a website. I'm using Next.js, I'm using TypeScript, and I'm using Tailwind. So there is some tutorials that I have in my channel how to set up your Next.js application, how to set up one so that you can start actually building websites. So check that one first. And if you're already at this point, we can just start creating this one, okay? All right, so I already have it here, but I'm gonna just delete everything and then I'll just explain it for you. All right, so I have cleaned up the page and I don't have anything. I just have like, this is just the landing page. So if you go to your project, this is just like the page.tsx, and I'm using the app configuration. All right, so as I explained before, this is just like a project that I already set up. I'm using the Next.js. I'm using Next.js with the app configuration. You just go to the page.tsx, which is where you so this is the entry point of the application, right? And here we're just gonna have like a landing page component. We're importing React. And then, well, that's pretty much it. We don't have anything else. So if I remove this one, nothing is going to happen, but we're going to be using it later because we'll be using some use effect, some use state, and then we need that there. Okay, so let me just leave it there for now. I just have like a simple hello world. Yeah, so this is, maybe it's not formatted correctly, but yeah, let's see there. Add some space here. All right, and now we have it there, and then we're just exporting this component so that we can use it across our application. Okay, so now we have this just like a simple hello world. So you already have like TailwindCSS installed, and once again, if you wanna know how to install it, if you wanna start with this skeleton of a project, check one of my videos. I already did this, so just take a look at that one and then get to this point, and then we can keep going from here, right? All right, okay. So now we have Jeep source hello world, and let's start. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is we're just gonna have like a section. So we'll just say section, and then you can give it like a class name if you wanted to, or maybe if you don't want to, you don't have to. We'll just do like a div here. And then for this div, we'll just say the class name. We want this to be doubly full, so which is the width. And then for this, we'll just say full for now. But then we'll change that, which is the height. Say relative. Then we'll say border. This is just the details, but I'm just gonna, or maybe I won't have everything. Let's just do the container first, okay? All right, so we'll just have something like that. And then inside of this one, so we want an image, right? So then we're just gonna say image. Let me just make this bigger. I think it's a little too small. Yeah, there it's probably good. Put this here, and then this here, and then you'll see it better. Okay, so what I did is just like a section, have like a div, like an image here. So as I'm typing this, you can see that I can import any of these, right? So I'll import the image, next image, which is the one that we're gonna be using. And this one is like a self-closing tag. So it doesn't have like you don't need like a closing tag. It's like a self-closing one. So it's just one tag. Okay. And then here we need like a source. So the source of the image, right? So then the source of the image is gonna be, in this case it's Jeeps. That, let me check on public. Jeeps.png. All right, Jeeps.png, right? And then the next thing we want like an alt description. So we'll just say hero section for Jeep. All right, you will just say hero section for Jeep here. And okay, so then we'll do layout. Okay, and then we'll have that. So that's pretty much what we need And then let me just show you what we have so far. Is missing required width property. Okay, so I don't have the width here, so let me provide that. Let's do width. We'll just say, I don't know, maybe 80, right? And then the height, we'll just say 80 as well, or 90. Okay, and now we have here 80 by 80. And we already have our image here, so this is the image that we want to show. So let me close all of these things here. Okay, so now I'm right here, and let's keep going. All right, so now we have that. So what we want to do, so you're gonna say layout, and then here we'll say fill, which is gonna fill the parent container. So if we do that, has both width and fill purpose, only should be okay. Yeah. So this is why. Yeah. So I don't want the width and height. I just added it so that I can show you. But if you use the layout and then fill, it's gonna fill the parent container, and then it's gonna make it look like this. So this is the entire website. See, I can't even move. So that's not good. And this is because I have the height to be full. So I'm gonna change this, and then I'm gonna add my own here. So what I'm gonna say is I want this to be 70 of the view height. And then you'll see that yeah, it's not changing now because I don't have anything, and I also need to add some more things. Okay, so another thing that I will add here is relative. So I'll make a relative, and then that's gonna change it, and that's gonna actually make it look like this for now, right? The 70 VH, so that stands for the viewport height, so it's gonna be 70 of the viewport height. And then if we change this, it's gonna be like 60. So it's gonna change it, but it's gonna also distort the image, right? Okay, so let's keep going. And then another thing that we want to say here, so we want to add some opacity, right? So we'll say class name opacity. So this is where I'm using the Tailwind for the image itself, and then you can put like 70, and then it's gonna make it look like this. So it's gonna change the opacity to that. See, it looks a little bit better. Okay, I want to make sure that you can see this, or you can see both here. All right, yeah, I think you can see both. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we have added opacity. So we'll say priority here, and we want priority. You can say true or false, but like, because it's a boolean, but we'll say priority, which the default is true. So we want it to actually load first, right? Because it's a big image. All right, so we still want to add something else because it's the starter, right? So we still want to add something else. So we'll say object fit, and then we'll say cover. And you see it looks a little bit better. So it's gonna maintain like the aspect ratio based on the container. So it looks a little bit better, right? It's still not perfect, of course, but it's a little bit better. All right, so the next thing that we want to add the overlay, right? So we'll just say it's gonna be just another div, and then we'll just put like an H1 inside of this one, and then we'll add some of the things that we need to add so that it looks like an overlay. So we'll just say Jeeps for sale. Right, so as you can see, it's not gonna be showing because I think it's well, the color itself, of course. So we'll just say class, say text white, and then let's see what else we have to do. Maybe the text itself will make it super big. Okay, still doesn't show. Well, it's here, so you can see that's here. Jeeps for sale. So now at least we can see it. And then for the rest, I'm just gonna copy paste some of the things that I have. I have 2 containers, including this one, right? So I'm just gonna replace with this, and then I'll explain what I did. Let me just complete this. Let me maybe put this in the same here. Okay, and then I'm missing one div here. Just gonna close the other one. Okay, so here what I've done, and it's still everything has opacity, right? So that's because this has to go here. And yeah, so then only this part is what we're actually working with. Okay, so here what I've done is, let's see here. Okay, so we have like a div which is this div, which is the only one that we want opacity for, and why we want, the hero section itself, right? And then inside we have the image, and then we have another div which is gonna contain the overlay, and then we have another div which is still containing the text and how we're gonna move that. And then for Jeeps for sale, let me just copy this here. We also have like a class name, and I'm gonna put all of this code. I'm not gonna explain every single thing that I'm using, but see, so now we have Jeeps for sale. So basically we just put like the text wide, we're using some, the padding bottom, the margin bottom, and this is just for like, if it's mobile, use this, and if it's, web, use this. The text, we've made it bold, and so forth and so on. This is just like absolute relative. This is just to position the divs itself. What else do we have here? Opacity. So these are just some of Tailwind properties that you can read. I'm not going to explain every single one of them. I'll just give you the code and then you can use it. We have Jeeps for sale. It's already in the center. And now we're going to keep going, right? So the next thing that we want is we want to have some descriptions, right? And this is, once again, this is just like some p tags. We'll just add them here. And I'm copy and pasting all of this just to save some time. Okay. And now we have explore the best and all of this. And you can change them. You can say whatever you want to say. And now we'll just add like a button, right? So everything is inside of this container. So let me do this better just to make it look a little bit cleaner here. Okay, there we go. And then we'll add like a button inside of that container. And this is something that I had added, but I'm not gonna show it now. Alright, and maybe I'll explain a little bit of this one as well. Find Jeeps. Okay, there we go. So now we have a button, and this button has like the find Jeeps, and we have added some like Tailwind classes. We have px10, py3, which is, I can maybe just play around with this a little bit so that you can see it. Yeah, so it's looking good. So if I say px6, right, so it's gonna reduce the space horizontally. See the space of the button. So I'll just leave 10. Maybe I'll change it to 8. Now we'll have that. The BG red, it's just like the background. So if I use blue, it's gonna change, right? So forth and so on. And we have rounded MD, which is the rounded borders. We can say large. It's gonna make it even more rounded. Okay, or rounder. And we don't have like a hover, so like if you hover, nothing happens. Only the cursor changes. But you can add that as well. So if you say hover, and you say BG red 400, because I think I use 500 here, so then it's gonna change its color a little bit. See, I don't know if it's not notorious enough, but let me put 200 just for the sake of it. See, now you can see it. So I can also leave that if I wanted to. Okay, so now we have the buttons, and once again I'll just add all of this code. I'll put it in a GitHub, and then you'll be able to see it. Okay, cool. So now we're just missing the social proof, right? So once again, we're gonna be having like a new container, and this container is gonna go after the button here. Do some make some space here. I'm just gonna copy the whole thing. Alright. So I've just copied over all of these. Let me do this to make it look better. You can use also like an icon. You can use like like span or whatever you want to use. Okay, and then we have another container here. Yeah, this is not looking the best, but does the job. Yeah, once again, it's not looking the best, but it does the job. Here we have like another div. We can just make it like a, well, it has to be a div, but we can add like a span tag here as well. All right. And now you can see that's looking like the one that I showed you in the beginning. And if we look for this one on mobile, it's also responsive. So you see this one stays in the middle. Well, it's on the left on the web, but like it goes to the middle. Let me just close this. It's supposed to stay on the left there, like that. Okay, so yeah, so for this one, I'll explain it, but it's pretty much just like another div. We're justifying in the center some of the items. We have a flex. Some of these are repetitive, maybe you won't need them. And the start, this is just like an SVG that I had, and then I'm just getting that SVG. This is just like an image tag. You can also use the other image tag, but in this case I'm gonna use this one just to show you that you can combine both. And here you can, change like the height. Let's say that I put 8 here. See, that's gonna make this a little bit bigger and whatnot. But this is the one that, this is how you control the height and the width using Tailwind. And this is not gonna do much. Like if I put 400, it doesn't change anything, right? So we don't actually need those, because this is, I just wanted to show you that you can do it with Tailwind. Let's see, put it back. Then we'll just delete this. It's just like do some cleanup here. Okay, and see, now you can see that they still have the same size, so it doesn't change anything. And yeah, no, that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much it for this video. So we have our hero section. Once again, I won't have enough time to actually explain every single Tailwind CSS styling, but you can read some of the documentation. But this is like a hero section. It's responsive. If you go to inspect, you see that's responsive on mobile. Maybe you pick a different phone, Pixel 7 SE. In all of them, it's responsive, so you can use this code. I'll put it in GitHub, and then you can just copy paste, and then you can understand it, go to the documentation, and then you can learn some of the Tailwind CSS classes that it comes with it. So yeah, so this is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's useful for you, and we'll keep building on this website. The next thing would be to integrate it with Firebase, and then maybe do some CRUD operations. So stick around, subscribe to the channel, share it with other people, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.